It was at 33. Now it's at 15. It gotta go up, right? GoPro is at $6 today, okay? No, a stock can go all the way to zero, especially when the business is trash, okay? Sorry, GoPro. Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and I see videos all the time on YouTube about how people made money. My first 10,000, my first million, my first whatever, okay? But I never see videos about, hey, here's how I lost my first 10,000, or here's how I bought a house and it actually went terrible and it almost caused bankruptcy. And one of the best ways to learn is from failure. So I think, in my opinion personally, I learn so much better from failure than I do from successes, but I learn twice as good from other people's failure because that way I don't have to go through them. So just recently my friend called me and told me, Tommy, I left my car parked outside. Somebody came and with a hardware tool, they cut a part of my car and that cost me $2,500. So I said, yo, I'm never leaving my car outside. He paid the price, but I learned to not leave my car outside because people are stealing car parts, okay? And once I was basically big hill, I'm on a bike and I go all the way down on this bicycle, I crash, okay? I almost died. Guess what? My friends, they didn't do it because they learned also from my failure. So in this video, I'll tell you exactly how I lost my first $10,000. And this way, hopefully, you can listen to the story, avoid all these things, and not make the same mistakes as I did. Because that would be the equivalent of me telling you, hey, I did this, I broke my leg, and you say, well, I gotta find out for myself. No, don't do that. You saw what happened. So learn from my mistakes. As always, guys, like this video. On top of that, also subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified. And it's always important, man. Share your mistakes because this way people can avoid it, even if it's embarrassing, okay? Now, the very first thing is, guys, good intentions are not enough. So when I got my first $10,000, I tried to invest it. I tried to make some money, okay? Now you asked me, Tommy, with what qualifications did you possibly go into the stock market and try to invest your money? Well, I read one book, I had one formula, and I had one strategy. And my strategy was basically simple, okay? I would look at a stock that I was interested in, and I would say, hey, the price was $10 back like 30 days ago. Now it's less. It has to go back up. So this is actually pretty good. And I had one formula that I got from The Intelligent Investor, which is a great book, but back then I was a very dumb student. And I had this one formula, and I was just plugging everything in there, like, okay, this is a good value, a good stock, this is the one. But I had no idea how to read a balance sheet, an income statement, a cash flow statement, how to discount cash flows, how to look at earnings. I had no idea how to actually evaluate a business. But okay, I gotta say something. Sometimes lady luck is really on your side, okay? Because I invested into 5 companies. Out of these 5, I did okay on 4 of them. I made 15% on each of those. But on GoPro, by the way, more details down in the description down below. But on GoPro, which is one of the companies I put my money into, I lost money. And when I lost money, instead of cutting it off, I said, no, this company, again, my same strategy, it was at 33. Now it's at 15. It gotta go up, right? GoPro is at $6 today, okay? No, a stock can go all the way to zero, especially when the business is trash, okay? Sorry, GoPro, but you cost me money and I don't like you anymore, okay? By the way, the problem with GoPro is that they make these products that people only use once in a lifetime, and they don't really have a way to actually keep getting money and earnings from their customer service, okay? So that's the thing, and that's why the business sucks. I know that today, but back then, I didn't know it. So I got extremely lucky, but it cost me so much because if I had left my money into 3 of those companies like Etsy, Walmart, and what was the third one? Well, I put money into a jail, which by the way was a terrible business, and I made money, but it was like, I'm putting my money into such a terrible business. And I was like, here's my logic, guys. People need jails like they need houses. Like I'm telling you, like when you don't know what you're doing, you just find all of these illegitimate ways to justify a bad decision. But if I had left my money in Etsy, that would have been a 10x, okay? 10 times my money. In Walmart, 2 to 5 times my money. And that would have been awesome. But I had all the bad strategies, okay? That's the first thing. I tried investing my money. And overall, although I made money, GoPro basically took all the money I made, okay? So I didn't really lose money investing, but I got lucky. Because a lot of people, they don't get that lucky. They lose it all. Don't do that. Don't do that. So what would I have done differently? Because I want to tell you what would I have done differently. I would have spent a lot more time learning about investing into companies and not being in such a rush. It's 10 times better to have $10,000 on the side and be acquiring knowledge than to have $10,000 invested into something you don't know and to not be able to sleep okay. I didn't have a single night rest. I was always looking at this thing in class at every moment saying like, okay, so it's up right now. Do I sell now? Do I sell it? Bad, 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 bad. It's best to know what you're doing before you get involved in it, okay? That's also good for relationships, by the way. Now, number 2, there's something to be said about character and money. Now, back then, guys, you guys know me today as the cheapest man with a very good salary, okay? I live a very good lifestyle, but I'm pretty cheap overall. Now, I'm happy, by the way. Pretty fine. But overall, here's the thing. Back in those days, I would not resemble the man I am today. I had very expensive taste. My partners were Nike, Apple, and anything else that was basically expensive. All my money that I basically made from those stocks or whatever, I grabbed that money and little by little, I started to spend it. Some money went to a MacBook, some money went to my partners over at Nike with some Jordans, some money went to Chipotle, going out with friends and this and that. Eventually, as the money just kept going down and down and down, nobody told me this, but if you spend money on stuff, eventually you'll be left with the stuff and not the money, like in the book called The Psychology of Money. And that's such an obvious thing, but back then I didn't realize it. Now that cost me a lot because eventually I was broke, I was unemployed, and all I had was things that made me look like I had money, and I was forced into doing something I never wanted to do, which is basically sell all my stuff. It was embarrassing, but it was worth it. And it taught me a very valuable lesson. Now tell me, what would you have done differently? The thing about human beings, me and you, obviously, is that unless you're a dog watching this video, which by the way, woof woof, but overall, the good thing about us is that basically we're able to change our character. Money makes you more of who you are, but you can change who you are and money will still work in that same symbiotic rule. So when I started to change my character, I believe that every single person on this planet should invest $50 on 3 books, okay? 3 types of book. One is self-help book, one is on finance and money, and the last one is gonna be on the truth. Let me explain here. And that's basically because a lot of us have all these ideas and they're all very stupid and wrong because a lot of our ideas come from our experiences. And when you're really young, your experiences are basically null. That's why when you're applying for a job, they don't want you because we don't have any experience, okay? And I used to hate that so much, but then when I had my own business, I was like, why would I hire someone with 0 experience, okay? It made absolutely no sense. But how do you get a job? You get experience, obviously, with jobs that don't require experience, okay? If you want a video on that, let me know. But those 3 books, they're called, for example, first, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Edgar T. Harv. That book will change your mindset and the way you see money. Also, second is going to be The Richest Man in Babylon. That book will help you understand how to use money, how to basically manage money, how to pay off debt, how to grow your money. That would have been very valuable. And then thirdly, a book on the truth. And that book is called The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley. And that book would have told me, Tommy, the rich don't buy Nike. The rich don't want a Mercedes. The rich don't spend their money on a MacBook they can't afford. The rich don't do this. The rich don't do that. Here are the real qualities. And once I changed my character and then I got money again, which is always like, it always happens to everybody. Well, I was able to enhance those good qualities and become basically a better person when it comes to money, a better steward of money, okay? And it's actually pretty good. But again, guys, you see these stories all the time. People like, I had a very bad example in my head, but people like Jim Rohns was 31, millionaire, by 33, loses everything. You have people, for example, Dave Ramsey, doing great, loses everything. You have people like, I think the JFK guy was losing, I mean, not JFK, KFC. What's that chicken place? Kennedy Fried Chicken. Yeah, Kennedy Fried Chicken guy. You guys don't know that story, right? But that business was going out of business. And then they took the recipe and started to sell it to other restaurants, okay? But it was going out of business at one point. There's always all these stories of mistakes, and then people learn from them, and they adjust, and they do amazing things. It's normal. So if you lost money, if you don't have any money right now, it's fine. just don't lose any more money, okay? That's the big thing. Now, number 3, guys, and the third thing is, okay, I never had a plan. That's the truth, man. So when I saved my first $10,000, I think it took me like 6 months, I think, maybe less, maybe more. Just don't remember that well. But it took me like around 6 months to save my first 10K. But there was never a plan. It was always just an amount. And I chose an amount arbitrarily. I didn't really know why I chose an amount. It was just a number that I thought was cool. So 10K, I got 10K in my pocket. You know what I mean? So when I chose that number, it wasn't for something specific. It wasn't for investing. That's why I just tried to invest into whatever it was. It wasn't for like going on a flight. It wasn't for any of those things. It was just like a random amount. And whenever you have money and you have no reason for having it, some other reason is going to be given to you by somebody else, like my partners over at Nike, Chipotle, and Starbucks, okay? They will give you reasons to spend that money, and you don't want that to happen. So today, my big thing is, today, I go ahead and I name all my money. I have money for investing. And if I don't have any good investment options, I just save the money and stack it up until I find some good investment options. I have money for travel. So when I'm thinking about, I want to do this, well, you don't have enough in there, so maybe put more money into that. I have money for my car in case it breaks down. I have money for my home expenses. You know, all my money has a job. And this way, everything's labeled. There is no money that's just extra lying around. Like, everything has a job. And this way, you're never tempted to use money for something else. And if you do use it, you know what you did. And this way you're liable. But when you don't have a name for it, you kind of just use it and be like, oh, it's no big deal. Like, that money was just there. No, you know when you did it because you know what that money was actually for. Now, guys, if I learned anything from all of these mistakes, is basically everyone makes them. It's okay. You make mistakes. And the good thing about money is that the most valuable resource you have in your life is time. Because time is finite. You can't buy more of it or anything like that. But money is a renewable resource. Like, it sounds crazy, but you can make more money because they print more money. And there are other ways out there to make more money. So overall, if you've lost money in the past, if you're going to be making some money now and then maybe you might make a big mistake, the answer is it's okay. Just rebuild and get smarter on the way. I always say these 3 things and I remind myself every single time. And it's basically be patient, be smart, and use common sense. And when you use those 3 things, it helps you out a lot. Avoid a lot of dumb mistakes, okay? Guys, as always, I hope you learn from my mistakes, and I hope you don't go through them. And I don't want to see any comments 6 months from now saying, Tommy, you know what? I did that same thing after I watched your video. That's not what I would want to see, okay? I hope you guys learned something from this video, okay? And if you did, comment down below 10K so I know you made it all the way to the end of the video. And as always, up here is another video. Over here is my face. Click and subscribe. And as always, Long Term Team officially out. And follow me on Instagram at TommyBryson. Peace out, guys.